Hey everybody, and welcome to Learn Max. And today we're going to take a look at the Instant Haus Max for Live device that is available from Ableton Live. And specifically, I want to look at it because there are ways you can modify it. And we're going to be actually either at the end of this tutorial or maybe in another one, depending on how much time we get. We're going to talk about how to turn this into instant drum and bass, or instant grime, or instant jungle, or whatever you want to call it. So it's pretty cool. All right, so let's take a look. Here is Instant Haus by AlexKid. Now, one thing you should know, this is a MIDI, Max for Live MIDI device. It doesn't make any sound on its own. It actually just generates MIDI data. So you need to have another synth. And what I have here, if you look at my Ableton Live set first, well, I got my audio track here, which is what what you're hearing me on. The audio, the microphone is going into, so just disregard that. And then you'll see the Haus track, and that's where the Instant Haus by AlexKid, where that device lives. And pay no attention to the D&B track just yet. We're not going to worry about that just yet. But you do want to look at this kit old stick. Okay, this is just an Ableton drum kit, drum instrument rack. Yeah, you know, I dragged it over here. Okay, we're going here, instruments, drum racks, kit. You can get all kinds of kits from there. Drag them on here. Drag them in, get a kit. Okay. And I have a little bit of processing going on. That part isn't really important either. But anyway, the important part is that I have a drum kit. And it's got some sounds on it. Okay, so now why do I have a separate track over here and I have the actual AlexKid Instant Haus over here? Well, I want to be able to, basically, this is going to be my MIDI, my sound generator, and then I'm going to send MIDI data to it from a number of different tracks so I can kind of see what's going on, and jump back and forth between a bunch of things. And I just really want to have one drum track that has the actual sound stuff on it, and this way I can keep things sort of independent. Okay, so how do you do that then? All right, I have to have MIDI on this track, and you'll see in my routing section here, open this up a little wider here, MIDI 2, and I send it to the track that has the kit old school stick on it here. And you'll see I am not sending it to individual drums, I am just sending it to the track in. Yeah, you can get really fancy with the Ableton routing, and we don't want to go there just yet. So anyway, all right, so as soon as I hit play, okay, we start getting cool patterns. And the way that the Instant Haus device works is basically you have a kick, you have a snare, you have a hi-hat section, you have a percussion section. And in each one you choose between a number of different patterns, and you set a note for that pattern. You'll see right now, C1 happens to be my kick drum. I can change that. Okay, but I want it to be on C1. And I'm on pattern 1, which is a real straight 4 the floor kind of thing. I can change that. Okay, now I can also adjust the feel of the track. I can shift it forward a little bit if I want. And you really won't hear too much of a difference here. Maybe you'll hear some difference in the swing if I want to add a little variation in there. But I should really have like something playing against it. So with the 4 on the floor, you're not going to hear much variation. But I'll turn the snare on. Scroll through some different things here. This one's pretty straightforward. Shift the kick a little bit. See, I'm pushing the kick forward. Okay, so I'll keep it straight right now. Turn the hi-hats. Kind of cool, right? Another thing I can do is I can actually record this MIDI data that's coming out of here, and then save it as new drum patterns, so that I can do all kinds of great stuff with it later. Just turn them into clips and do all kinds of fun stuff. So it's a really cool device. Now, of course, like any other, there's some MIDI turn on the device. You have MIDI assignments and MIDI controls and stuff in there, and you can also randomize patterns and do kind of cool stuff. We won't worry about that just yet. It's a complex device. So let's open it up though, and you'll see right away. This is in the presentation view. There's all our things that we can work with. And we're going to turn it into patching mode, and we're going to look at this real quick. There's a section for each one of the sections there, the kick, the snare, the hi-hats, and so on. And there's also what you can control with all the MIDI stuff in here, and allow kick changes, snare changes, and so on. But what I wanted to look at is really where the patterns come from. This is the important part, okay? So if you look over here, here's like the kick section, all right? And immediately I notice this P underscore kick. And that means that there is a patcher there. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lock this patcher window here, so I can double click on sub patchers, right? Double click on that, I get a sub patcher for it. Let me zoom in a little bit here. Okay. So this happens to be what is really where the pattern really lives at any particular moment in time. You'll see here this little matrix control, which is a two-dimensional control, and it happens to have it happens to be turned on every fourth step in the first, or every fourth column in the first row here, okay? Now when you have a column, two columns, you have a row and a column here. What they're doing, they're doing in the patch here is these are the accented beats, and these are the unaccented, or excuse me, the accented sounds and the unaccented sounds. Okay, so we listen to it. Let's go, hopefully. Bring it back again. Oh, I can't believe I did that. All right, sorry. Real quick, let's get back. All right. Simple 4 on the floor kind of thing. So I'm kind of using it like a step sequencer here, right? But you might want to wonder, okay, where is it getting those, and how's it playing them out? Well, playing them out is what goes on here, okay? There's actually a clock that drives it, and that is ruled by the swing engine, the BPM, and so on. It will basically get any, it'll tick through the columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, all the way up to 16, and keep cycling through and so on. But the interesting part is here, if you double click on the sub patcher for kick patterns, this is what really feeds it the patterns, okay? So what happens here, I zoom in, or I won't zoom, I'll just click over here. Okay, watch this, ready? I will clear and set, okay? Clear, get some more complicated, okay? So over here are all the different patterns that are stored, okay? So what happens when you select a new pattern, this is the select box here, it's going to get it sent a number from 0 to 11 by that the dial control in the device. And the first thing that's going to happen is it's going to say it was you chose 1, and that would use this, hit this trigger box. That's what T is, and it's going to trigger and send out 2 bangs. Okay, and remember, Max executes from right to left, so the first outlet goes down to this clear, so it will clear out the pattern. The second bang will come over here to this message, and this message will set the row according to row and column, whether it's set. Okay. Excuse me, column and row. 0, 0 gets set to 1. Column 4, 0, right? Column 4, row 0 gets set to 1. Column 8, row 0 gets set to 1, and so on. Okay, that's what happens over here. The more complicated ones you'll see, okay, like here has row 1, column 9, something like that. Okay, see, isn't that what I just pressed? No, I have to clear it. Okay, there it is. So you can see here it's 9 and 14 in the muted row here gets activated. All right, so we're coming up on 10 minutes, and I don't want to keep you any more than 10 minutes right now. So you can imagine if I wanted to, I could unlock this, go in here, and edit these guys, right? And start doing some interesting things. So next time, in part 2, we're going to talk about how to really turn this into another style of music. So until next time, this is Eric for Learn Max. Hope you enjoyed seeing a little bit of a glimpse into somebody else's patch here, and basically this is kind of my method for learning fun and new stuff and getting inside other people's heads. So until next time, happy patching, and this is Eric at Learn Max. Take care.